Yo, 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 I'm Ricky Rock, and this is Big Dad Energy presented by Dear Fathers, a premier media platform for Black fatherhood. And today we have a special guest, which is actually Big STL Energy. I call him the James Baldwin of photography, aka aka AOW, my brother Adrian Octavius Walker. How you doing, my brother? I appreciate you, man.
What's up, man? That intro was crazy.
It was cool, man. I was trying to make it feel as real as possible.
I forgot who I was messing with.
Yeah, man. We gotta do it right for you, man. We gotta do it right, man. We gotta do it right, man. Well, once again, brother, I appreciate you. We kind of talked offline. I feel like I've been knowing you for a decade, but not knowing you for a decade. So I think this is like long overdue, and like I'm excited about it for sure.
Same, man. Same.
So I'm gonna just start real quick. I'm just gonna reflect. So I like to kind of reflect on like my first introduction to my guests. Not even my guests, it's just my brothers. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of was reflecting, and it had to be around 2010ish with May Monarchs, and it stuck out to me because that was the first time I looked when if you're not familiar, maybe you can like kind of get people familiar if you're not with May Monarchs, but the art collaborative it introduced me to a different side of art. I looked at art as painting and drawing before you all. And I never looked at photography. It just maybe how my education was set up, but I never looked at art in that way. You know what I'm saying? So as I reflect, like, dang, that was the first time I really got introduced to art in that broad spectrum. So I guess if you could go back real quick just to lay the foundation, what inspired that? But even further, what was your first taste of art in that realm, and what inspired you to dive in and you knew it was like your passion?
Right. So to think about Made Monarchs and what we did, Made Monarchs consisted of 4 individuals. We were all in college. Darren Nesbitt, Skip Jones, and Jonna Woodard. And we all had pretty much our own medium. When I say medium, it's just like knowing that Skip was pretty much like the multimedia facet person. Jonna was like the more journalist side of things. Darren was on like the more fashion/blog thing. And I played the role of pretty much just like community and getting people together. So like the socialite, I guess the plug, the
Right. Right.
person get the information out, and
Right. Go
I
to
tap in with the camera and stuff like that. So the reason why we started Made Monarchs back, when we started it, I believe it was like '08 when we started, '08, '07, '08, yeah. Because we just wanted to like get the community and folks together. And these are like new words that I'm using now because what we were saying back then was just like really wasn't nothing really to do back home. I mean, it was stuff to do, but it was pretty much the same stuff going on every week.
Right.
So we kind of like wanted to like bring people together in a more I guess like curated way. And we just like did these events, different types of events that had like a theme behind it. We also wanted to like put together like music, and we dove into music, and that's when the SoundCloud era was like popping with like Dom Kennedy's, the Currencies, Freddie Gibbs, and all those people. You know what I'm saying? So we started diving into bringing in artists to St. Louis, and then yeah, we just wanted to do this in a more unique way, in say fashion, and just bring everybody together. We wanted to show that we wasn't like discriminating towards anybody. So rather, however you dress, you know what I'm saying, however like whatever gender you went by, um, uh, whatever you wanted to do and whoever you wanted to be, you just show up at a Made Monarchs event and just feel welcome. So that was pretty much what we just specialized in. And then like around that time, I was learning the camera from Skip, and I just never put it down. from there.
So May Minors was, I guess, your introduction to photography that blossomed into where you are now. I didn't know that. I just
Yeah, because I knew I wanted to do photo, but I didn't know that I was going to get into photo the way I did, as far as it's like being on the more like, you know, the artistic side of things. It's just not like just taking those like concerts and stuff like that, but like
Mhm.
mostly like really just being in like getting into galleries and museums and stuff like that, and just
Right.
I just kind of took it there, you know.
Right. That's I mean, just on that real quick, even photography, like it would have never crossed my mind for photography to be in an art museum, you know. And on that note, I know recently, I don't know if it was early this year, late last year, you were in the Smithsonian Art Gallery, right? Like,
Yeah, that was in 20,
is that 2020? It's been
20,
like a mesh, like
yeah, that was
2020, 2021 is like the same year.
2018, 2019, 2018.
Okay.
Uh, no, I shot the, well, I'm tripping. Let me fast forward. That was 2019
Okay.
that it happened. I shot that work in 2018, and it started traveling. That work now is currently not at the Smithsonian in the DC anymore. It's currently in upstate uh, New York uh,
Okay.
right now, and then it's going to travel. Then it's going to go to St. Louis, actually.
Oh, dope. So if you don't know, it's the Black Virgin Mary We Matter. It's why I have on a wave cap. I don't even have her anymore. But this was uh, a perfect opportunity to rock a wave cap. You know what I'm saying? And ode to the We Matter campaign or the picture. I mean, you gotta go check out the picture. I don't even want to. I can't even describe it. I showed my wife, and I remember she was just looking like it's something she'd never seen before. Like this. Okay, before we move into the fatherhood piece, did you know that picture was as profound as it was when you took it? Like, how do you? Maybe it's my question. As not being a photographer, how do you
No,
know when like a picture is like a picture or when it's like this shit? Like,
yeah, I think like for me, I think for me with that work, I kind of like, I think mostly knowing that it was bigger than what bigger than what I imagined, because I sat on the work for such a long time.
hmm,
Because ideally the work was just going to kind of like live on the brand that I was photographing. The brand I was photographing for was OG Royale, which
okay,
is the do-rag company.
okay,
It's some homies of mine out of LA.
okay,
I was introduced to them by a good friend of mine. His name is Emeka, that lives in the Bay. I used to live in the Bay for 4.5 years in Oakland.
right,
And he said that it would be dope if you photographed the campaign for OG Royale. So I did. But every time I go into like a photo shoot or something like that, I really get like, I kind of take it further than what it needs to pretty much go.
hmm,
Um, and once I seen the photos, like I shoot film photography. So once I got the roll of film back and I was looking at the negatives through the light, I was just like, man, these are insane.
hmm,
And I wanted to sit on the work. I had to explain to them why. They understood, they trusted the vision. And then that's kind of like pretty much where it took off, from me just blowing up the picture
hmm.
larger than life and just actually seeing it for what it was. Because a lot of people think they're paintings.
Right. I think I thought that first. I
When,
had to think that was first.
yeah. And so now the fact that it's touched so many different cities, it's in so many people's homes, and then it gets to go home, like in St. Louis, it's
That's
just kind of
big.
insane. So it's just like basically what I'm trying to imagine is, Lord willing, that the earth, I mean, the world is open back up to where we can have like this huge event that's
Right.
getting people, your family,
Yeah.
all the other homies from, UMSL and
Yeah.
the events and stuff like that, all in this one place to see this work that pretty much got me, it,
Right.
it's just kind of
Like a
amazing.
homecoming almost,
Yeah.
like, and I hope by the summer that we do, like you said, it's all over the world. Like I would have never been doing an interview with a wave cap on. You know what I'm saying? You changed my whole swag for this, man. But yeah, I just be interested in just that eye for the art and how, you know, it comes about, but yeah, I just want to lay the foundation because what on Big Dad Energy, we just kind of talk about how we balance being a father with our art and our creativity. So you have a daughter, and how old is your daughter?
Emery is 3 years old.
3 years old. When was she born? What month?
January 3rd, 2018.
January 3rd, 2018. Let's give a round of applause for Emily, man. The girls. I got two girls, so I double feel it. It's very, it's special. I'll say the word special. So your daughter's 3. How are you able to balance? I guess currently, how is it balancing your passion, your art, your marriage,
Mhm.
and fatherhood?
Well, first things first, there's you have to have a for me, there is just consistency as far as like communication.
Mm,
I'm saying communication is first and foremost the most important thing when it comes down to, I feel like, balancing anything with anybody, a relationship, a marriage, or anything, even a relationship with your daughter or a relationship with your best friend or whatnot.
mhm,
So just kind of having that open communication and communicating like times, communication with calendars and stuff like that. We are a very, very calendar heavy family. And so, like, without the calendar, it's just kind of like no us, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Whereas it's like I have a lot going on, especially now, meetings and stuff like that, and just kind of like photo shoots and things of that nature. And once Emery gets to a certain age, it's kind of like no brainer that I'm going to like bring her with me. Right now, she's
right,
kind of like running rapid, you know what I'm saying? But when she gets to a certain age of like knowing how to like chill for real, like I'll definitely bring her on set, you
right,
know what I'm saying? For stuff. Cause it's just kind of like just putting her around that would be just really dope.
right,
And also just kind of like, again, back to the communication thing, it's just like I need my wife in that spectrum to like help me not only balance the work, but help me improve the work. You know
mm,
what I'm saying? And so it's just kind of like just having that extra side of energy there to help boost whatever I'm about to do.
that's dope. That's dope. And it's crazy because I ask that question often, and when you have a woman in your life, it definitely makes it
Hmm.
flow back. For example, I asked Ozzie Smith the same question, right? And this man was traveling 200 days out of the 300 days out of the year, and I asked him how did he balance baseball and father. He said, "My wife." Like
Hmm.
that was the answer. Like this man travels all year round, and because he had a wife, he was able to kind of keep the relationship, streamlined through instead of having to go back and forth. So, um,
Yeah, I could imagine not
yeah,
having Morgan in my life actually with all the stuff that I have going on, even just keeping me sane
yeah,
because only her, like only she know like really what's going on. Even if I'm not even like saying it like verbally, it's just kind of like waking up, like I can tell something's going on, like what is going
yeah.
on. So even like those questions being asked, it's like very, very helpful
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes where you just don't want to put out that energy or whatnot, you're not gonna say anything. And I
Right,
definitely am working on that. You know what I'm saying? Getting better at that. Regardless of what I'm going through, it's just best to just get it out. You know what I'm saying? Because
right,
holding it in, internalizing it is not going to do anything for you.
for
So
sure.
like, you might as well just kind of talk to someone that's been in your life for a long time that understands you. That's honestly just a part of you that can help you get through whatever you're getting through, you know?
Yeah. Are there any other tools you have to kind of deal with mental health? Do you
Oh my
use
gosh. I say this oath of manifestation every morning. I post it every day for everybody to see. I do breathing techniques. I started doing breathing techniques and stuff like that. I use Headspace
Yep.
fairly often.
I love Headspace.
Um, I work out a ton,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
Uh, I now have a better practice on just saying no to things. That's a part of mental health because if you
Yeah.
take on so much, then it just bombards you.
For
Uh,
sure.
Also, it's just kind of like with the things that I listen to and take in, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even like information being received, I try to reverse it. If it's something that I didn't care to receive, it's kind of like asking the question, like, why you send me this or X, Y, and Z, or it's just kind of like letting the person know, like, hey, let's kind of like not share this type of stuff because it's not doing nothing for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a
Like an
good.
old coworker sent me something that
Yeah.
said about another coworker, and it's just like I don't work there anymore, so I don't care to see that. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it's just not doing nothing for me. So setting
Yeah.
boundaries is a huge thing. And again, I learned that from my wife. It's
Mhm.
smart to just set boundaries. And if you set boundaries or whatever, then you won't run into these issues. It's a lot of stuff that you can't control,
Right.
but at the same time, once it comes to you, that's where you like take on whatever you need to take on and just set
Yeah.
a boundary and stay
Man,
clear.
that was you said. I mean that was a lot of wisdom. Something that stuck out to me is the sharing piece. Man, people just share things without thinking who they're going to affect besides themselves. Like it was,
Right.
and that's just crazy. And I mean, you kind of touched on a little bit like social media, like it's so rampant. Like I have to I try everything you said, some things that I try to implement, but I have to take like I try to take 2 days off a week off social media if I can. I try to because it's a lot, man.
Mhm.
It's a lot.
Especially when like our era of not really, you got to think about our era when we was out partying and hanging out. Like we had
Right.
Facebook, but we
Right.
didn't really trip off of it like that. So it's just like all this stuff is like fairly, it's old now.
Right.
But we didn't start off with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We still kind of like had the guerrilla marketing and all
For
that,
sure.
listening to the
Mhm.
radio, finding out what was going on within the city and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
The social media came. So I think we have like a really great balance of like knowing,
For sure.
but it's also easy to get caught up in it
Mm-hmm.
because it is such a frequent tool.
Yeah.
It's so available.
Right. No, you're right. We are a special generation because we do know how to live and have fun and engage without social media. And then we know how to use it as probably one of the most powerful tools that we can have sometimes. So
And that's why I use it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah,
don't really take a lot from it. Um, I don't get caught up in like the numbers, the
yeah.
likes, the engagement. I don't get caught up in any of it because there's a lot of stuff we just can't control.
It's a book I read called Digital Minimalism, and it really helped me a lot. It's really just if you got time to check it out, but it was just about like only using social media to like add value to your life. And if you it made you just me so much more conscious of everything I'm doing, like why I searched that, why am I scrolling now? It was just really dope. But yeah, so your daughter's going to be to an age where she can be around you more. How do you think she's going to respond? How you think she's going to react when she kind of realizes how impactful her dad, or what do you want her to
She's been around me in shows and stuff like that. I like definitely always used to, not always. She definitely has been around me during some huge moments in my life.
Mhm.
Like when I had got I won this. I showed my work in California through the Lucy Foundation. It's this photo foundation in
Mhm.
California, and I was able to fly out to LA, show my work in two different galleries. I took her with me. It was just me and her. It was literally the first time I've traveled alone with Emery, and we went to California,
Mm.
to LA. And it was just like, that's an incredible moment when I think about it, because she was super young too.
Wow.
And I think she was like one or going on, I think she was one. And that's kind of crazy to think about right now, because that was, folks be, you know, I can't say all men, but when I think about traveling and men and just, that's a lot to take on. You know what I'm saying? Like having
Yeah.
travel with, like without mom, no mom. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I
And
can't,
one, two.
you know what I'm saying? That was
Yeah.
so for me, honestly, it's just like it's just like really keeping her in tune of what I'm doing, of what we are doing as a family, me and my wife, us as artists. And just kind of constantly reminding her, hey, your parents are actually pretty dope.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You probably want to tap in, you know.
Right. Right.
It's your choice. But it's just kind of like having her around it, because we have art in the house
Mm-hmm.
and she's around these things. We have art on the wall. If you was to come to our house, you'll probably think like a 3-year-old lives here. But it's like, yeah, because we have stuff that is easily can be tampered with or anything, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it's just like having her around it. She knows better, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she even asks for things as far as like a camera, because she sees me using the camera. She's really, really good
So
in
you
front of
right.
the camera.
Mm.
So it's just kind of like just keeping that energy going and flowing around her,
Yeah. It's
Also
dope.
surrounding her about friends that do it as well too.
Mm-hmm. It's dope. I mean, I always knew she would have a camera in her hands if she doesn't already before
Right.
So it definitely is, you got wisdom from being it seems like you have a really good understanding of kind of like how to navigate fatherhood. What get what kind of do you have any people that you talk to about fatherhood? That's a one part question. Also, what about your relationship with your father? What was that like, or what is it like, and how does that kind of how did that help mold, or for lack of better words, unmold who you are as a father now?
Okay. So for the first question, I definitely have folks in my life that I do talk about fatherhood, parenthood, period. A good friend of mine, his name is Julian James. We actually just became friends about 2 years ago, and he's kind of been like one of the closest people that I do talk to about children.
Mm.
The homie Jabari Conrad, back home.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
that's my dog.
yeah,
We actually do the book club together.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's the homie.
Yep. We talk about fatherhood. Brad, Brad's a new father. We talk
Mm-hmm.
about it too. I'm always just warning him every time he posts something, a little shorty doing something new. I was like, all right, you know, it's cute now. You're gonna see.
Right.
So I just always just messing with him.
Right. Right.
Um, who else? It's a few people I share moments with when it comes
Mhm.
down to fatherhood and just kind of like keeping that going. As far as me and my relationship with my father is still around.
Mhm.
I would say we blossomed late in the game as far as like really tapping in on like the whole father son thing. It took me a long time to learn what was going on between us.
Mhm.
And I would say like at one point of our lives, everything was pretty much like a little monetary, whereas it was like I'm always doing good in school. I
Mhm.
always did what I was supposed to do, get good grades. I went to school, throughout high school, middle school, high school, anything. I didn't have to necessarily be told, hey, do this, do that. So it was kind of expected that I just did well.
Right.
But when I did well, I received things, gifts, money, stuff to better improve my education or just improve
Mhm.
my lifestyle, period. But I never really received like those pats on the back, those pep talks, those I love you, son,
Yeah.
those things of that nature. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't realize this until it was like 2017,
Mm.
2018, where I had like a conversation with a guy about his father because he had wrote a piece about his father And I was like, man, this is insane because I never really talked to my dad the way you are explaining and expressing to me about how you talk to your dad. So I literally like left the function, it's like restaurant,
Mm.
and called my dad.
Wow.
And it was like a breaking point where I was just like literally outside this restaurant, like crying and talk to my dad, like telling him how I feel about him or how I feel about our relationship, and actually said the words "I love you,"
Mm.
and to him, we said it to each other. And I can't remember like us ever saying this to each other. It's not like we didn't, we just never said it.
Right.
Because it's easy for me to say I love you to my wife, my kid, good friends of mine. It's just kind of like free flowing, but just never like really expressed that. And to even take it back further, I remember giving a talk to some students and professionals from um what's the program called?
Was it St. Louis?
No, yeah, it's a worldwide teaching program. Teach for America.
Oh, okay.
Teach for America.
Mm-hmm.
And a good buddy of mine, who's my AP Lit teacher, his name is Ryan Gubix. He was my teacher, and then we've grown into like friends still to this day. He set this up, and I did this talk, round of applause, yada yada yada. It was good. He
Mm-hmm.
brought my dad on stage, and then he asked my dad in front of at least 700 people, like, how did you raise this young man to be so special, whatever he said. And my dad said, I didn't raise him, he raised himself.
Wow.
And it was just kind of crazy because my mom passed away when I was 10. And I was a true mama's boy. You know what I'm saying? Like definitely
I'm sorry to
like
hear that too. I feel I'm on that same.
right on.
Feel
Yeah.
that. I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like with me and my mom, I was just like really much under her.
Mm-hmm.
10 years old, you know what I'm saying? I was just like pretty much just like learning what I knew from her. My dad was upstairs and my mom was downstairs. So the dynamic in the relationship in the house was kind of weird. Where it's like we all lived in the same household, but my dad and mom wasn't together. My dad paid the bills. My mom made sure we was fed and did everything she needed to do to care
Right.
for
Right.
everybody. And slept in the same bed with my mom all the way up to like freaking 7, 8 until we got twin beds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Finally got twin beds, was in the same room, like in a JBL, just
Big
posted.
mama's boy right there. I love that. I feel that. I feel that.
Like wasn't ashamed, was
Right.
not did everything she said. Tell me to go to the store. I'm going to the store at 8 years old, 9 years old, walking up the street to the little store with
Right.
change in my pocket, getting whatever she wanted, then getting my little bag of chips. It's just kind of, whatever.
Right.
My dad was there. Like I said, he would do things for me. I would remember when my dad would always tell me what he's going to do. And
Mm-hmm.
when he didn't follow through, I would just get so upset.
Mm-hmm.
Like, remember like buying like a PlayStation game.
Yeah.
He would buy me games. And I was just like, am I ungrateful? And like thinking about this now, it's just like he would buy me games, but he wouldn't buy me what I said I wanted.
Right.
Instead, he would buy two cheap games that
Right.
I didn't really want.
Right.
It's just kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying, to think about that now. But again, to answer the question, me and my dad relationship has developed a lot. And now that he's grown much older, my dad is like 75 now. I'm
Mm.
32. I'll be 33 this year. It's even more, the dynamics are even more because my dad now, developed kidney failure over the years. Last year was crazy. My dad survived a heart attack. And then right after heart attack, he had COVID and
Wow.
survived both of those. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying? So it's just kind of crazy to think like how
The
last year
timing.
was so
Yeah.
insane. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With his health. And even like, man, it was insane. I had a conversation with my dad when he was able to recover from the heart attack. Because my dad literally he died and they brought him back.
Sheesh.
And I recorded the conversation. The first thing that came to my mind was like, I gotta record this conversation with him because I want to know what it was like. And I asked him, I said, so what was it like? He's like, what are you talking about? I said, I mean, you died, right? He was like, yeah, it was. He said it was beautiful. He said it was beautiful. He said he never he said wherever he was at was like very peaceful. Uh, it was a lot of light. There was a lot of trees and all this type of stuff. Literally recorded this,
Wow.
and he was just like saying like he felt relieved, free. And then I said, "How does it feel being back?" He said, "It feels good." He said, "I feel good." He said, "I want to definitely thank the doctor who brought me back." He said, "My chest is hurting a little bit because they have to resuscitate him."
Mm.
But other than that, like it feels good. So basically, what I took from that was like he took a quick journey. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like really phenomenal because it was super hard listening to this, but it was amazing to listen to it. But it was also even more amazing to have this. I have this artifact of my dad talking about death. You know,
Right.
some a lot of us never we when the last time you died and came back? You know what I'm saying?
I literally got like her standing on my arms hearing it. I've never heard, you might see it in a movie or something, but I've never heard from a person, my brother, that experience. That is amazing, dog.
Yeah, life is amazing. And so like to like knowing that was kind
Wow.
of like that wasn't the last conversation that I had with my dad. It was like the beginning of something new. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And you know, to take
That's,
that in, it's just like I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of good going on, a lot of good weight going on.
mhm.
Another good homie I didn't even mention, I talked about fatherhood, is with my homie Rodney. You know what I'm saying? He's a great father. I'm starting to meet a lot of more men in my life that are in the same position as me.
Yeah.
I think surrounding myself around men like that will better me, because we can talk about these things. We share these bonds and stuff like that,
Right. Right.
It's kind of like, it's no diss to the friend that's still out doing his thing.
Mhm.
It's none of that. I'm not gonna take that away from anybody, and I'm not also gonna like shy them away. It's
Right.
just like knowing what I can like talk about,
Yeah.
and kind of like have those boundaries.
For sure. For sure. Man, that was a lot. First of all, I'm glad, it's a blessing that you and your dad had to have that, you guys got to have that conversation, that uncomfortable conversation, that allows you to grow, you know what I'm saying, you know, before something happened. I kind of mentioned to you that I had a similar conversation with my dad. And as I reflect on your conversation, your relationship with your parents, mine was literally the exact same way. My parents were married for 25 years, lived in the same house. Everyone outside thought we was peachy cream, thought me and my dad were best friends. We never said we loved each other until 2020, when I talked to him about, because my therapist said, would you want your dad? She said, if your dad died today, are there things you would still want to tell him? I'm like, yeah. I went over his house that night and we talked. So similar, same situation.
Right.
I think it's really, I think that our generation, or I don't know what it is kind of about us, that are more comfortable with having those uncomfortable conversations. And we also are aware that we need other brothers in our lives to kind of, bounce back off. And I think our parents, I know for a fact, my dad, he didn't have that. And he didn't have just the emotional intelligence to talk to anybody about what he was
Same.
feeling.
That's
And
what my dad is the same way. My dad, he did Vietnam. You know
mm,
what I'm saying? He's a vet. My dad used to gamble a lot. At one point in his life, he used to drink a lot.
yeah,
Uh, so he has all those old vices and stuff like that on, and I just didn't take after him when it comes down to this stuff. You know what I'm
mm,
saying?
yeah,
Like, and it's like again, it's just like I'm not against any of that stuff. I love drinking wine. You know what I'm saying? I'm
wine
like
connoisseur.
yeah, like a little wine kind of sore here and there, and it's not like I'm not letting it get the best of me or nothing like that.
Right, right,
Nothing like
right.
that. But it's just like to think about the characteristics of what a father is or what a father could be.
Right.
And just like knowing like how I want to shape myself to be able to shape somebody else.
Yeah. Do you know if your dad's dad, what their relationship was like?
Mm-mm.
Mm.
That's
Oh,
an
wow. That's a good question. I think you should add because I just found out about my dad
mm-hmm.
recently. Never knew. Found out he was alcoholic. He left when he was 7. Had no idea, and it kind of, dang, like it made sense. Like it made sense, but I wouldn't encourage that conversation.
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It definitely needs to happen. It will happen. It will
Yeah.
happen.
That's I mean, I'm really, first of all, I'm proud of you, brother, for taking these steps and to breaking these, I don't say no generational curse. That's what they say, generational curse, but just to pave your new way for your family, you know?
Yeah. I just think even the language that we choose to talk about when it comes out
Yeah.
of stuff like, we don't gotta say generational curse
Right.
and all
Right.
that
Right.
type of stuff. So I think even starting to change the language
Yeah.
when we say certain things or do certain things, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like affirming everything.
Right.
It's
Right.
just affirming it. It's just
Yeah.
like what I'm going to do versus like what I will do. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
The
That's why
whole
it,
I wish.
exactly.
Yeah, the whole I wish is like I will. You know what I'm saying? Like I am. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Right.
like just doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's like affirming everything, you know? And I just think that it's just like dope that my dad is around to see my daughter.
Yeah.
His youngest had a child,
Mhm.
and then my daughter gets to see her grandfather. So she has like my dad, my wife's stepdad, her dad, and her mom's dad. So her great granddad. You know what I'm saying? So she's surrounded by. She got some men in her life.
Yeah, that's dope.
And she has some amazing women in her life too. So
Yeah.
it's like a great balance. And then it's just like the dopest part about Emery, my daughter, is the fact that she's like really, she's a talkative kid. So she's like talking and having conversation with all of them. You know what I'm saying? She has a relationship with all of them, like
Right.
knowing who they are separately, not mixing them up and all that type of stuff. It's just really dope.
That's dope, man. Your daughter, I just on that same I saw one video. I believe your daughter was reading, right?
Yeah, she's cold.
Right. It's cold, and and I think we're special. This is a part of social media that can add value to your life, right? And just iron sharpens iron. When I saw that video, you know what I did? My daughter had just started reading Pete is cool or something.
Mhm.
Pete the cat. When I saw that video, I stopped what I was doing and we went back to that book to continue her read, because she cold too. But that's why I feel like that's when I like social media, when I can see a brother doing something amazing and I could just, oh man, that's inspiring, and do it, and not let, it's a fine line between, and I'm just gonna say it because I feel like it's a fine line between envy and inspiration. You know what I'm saying? And I think social media can cause one or the other, but a thin line, And I want to say, even just on that note, like that inspired me to like, man, I stopped what I was doing. I should be reading my daughter right now. I was scrolling on Instagram. I was scrolling and saw something dope, but I was able to apply that to my life. And I think that's what we are able to do for each other as young Black fathers,
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
Mm-hmm. 1,000%, man. I think, like I said, you used to the greatest ability. You don't have to. It's a lot of we have control.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? You just have to like know how to use and learn the control of the things. You know what I'm saying? And
right,
it's also it's not going to be an overnight thing. You got to give yourself time. You got to give
right,
yourself grace. Doing these things and stuff like that, because it's not going to change when you want it to change automatically. And you
right,
also can't look at somebody else and how they live their life and think your life's going to be like that. You know?
right, for sure. Grace, my wife says grace all the time. And that's big because like I saw nothing but dysfunctional parenting, dysfunctional marriages growing up, all aspects. So one thing that's dope for me, even being with dear fathers and having these interviews, I've been growing so much as a father and a husband.
Thank
It's crazy, you
Thank
know.
the thing. What will we do without growth? You know what I'm saying? I did some silly stuff, you know what I'm saying, and had to learn about it, go to therapy about it with my wife and just kind of like learn from that and just like become a better person. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Do better things or whatnot. I'm not gonna sit up here as if I'm talking like I'm a straight up saint. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But now it's just like I know moving forward who I want to be, how I want to do it, what I need to do, you know what I'm saying, in order to not put myself in any type of harm's way or my family in harm's way and just like take it there, you know?
Right. It's dope, man. It's dope, man. I really feel like I could just chop it up with you all day, man. I appreciate you, dog. What you do for the culture, for your family, for the city. Like, I think we all just are doing our best. And something I'm really gonna take from the conversation is using our words, you know, like even how I was gonna say generational curse, and I started I didn't even like how that sounded. I said pave the way because we are in control and words have power. And if we know that we're in control of what we're doing and what we're saying, I think that makes life a lot more smoother than just kind of just being blown by the wind and blowing by past,
Yeah.
past,
Even do it, all of that. Even if you ride with a homeboy, just listen to certain things or whatever, like, man, I
yeah,
don't want to hear this. It's
right,
kind of hard to be like, yo, bro, it's because you're in somebody else's car.
right,
It's just like, what can I do? He's like, you got some headphones, throw the headphones in, yeah, let's do a pod or something, you
right,
know. It's kind of
right,
like, I'll be like, hey, bro, can we like ride inside and just talk? You know what
right,
I'm saying? Just something like that, you know.
right,
It's like we have to, learn how to disengage,
right.
you know,
Yeah,
and also like disengage from certain things too.
yeah, for sure. That's big, man. So what's next? I know you had it was COVID, and I feel like um you still managed to navigate very productively and successfully. I'm just, you know, I tried to get the Notre Dunks. I actually my plan was to get them so you could sign them, but that didn't pan out.
What
How
size shoe do you wear?
what size do I wear?
Yeah.
11.
Are you wear 11?
Yeah, 10 and a half, 11.
We're gonna have to goat it out. Get it out. We're gonna have it go and goat.
I might have to go on GOAT, man. That was definitely like my plan C.
Pretty wild to think about. That was insane that happened. But yeah, during the pandemic, lost my job,
Hmm.
but I didn't lose community. Had community, didn't lose kind of like sight into what was going to happen, what was next. Didn't really find myself really worrying about anything.
Hmm.
Kind of felt like I was like in a safe space, did pretty well financially, saving and also working for a tech company. You get a nice chunk of change
Yeah.
after you get laid off here and there and stuff like that. And just managed to just stay on this crazy train, and it's still continuing. So honestly, what's next is continuing what I'm doing now. You know,
Right.
the sky is always the limit. Just kind of like just staying safe first and foremost.
Yeah.
Trying to avoid getting sick and doing most. Hopefully when things roll around as far as like vaccine stuff and people feel however they feel about doing that. I know I'm definitely up for it.
For sure.
um,
I'm ready to get outside a little bit.
yeah, that was so funny with you when you went to the store the other day and just walked home. You were goofy as hell. This dude is silly. Yes, I can't wait to get outside. Yes, I'm going to the store. But yeah, just staying on that train. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on a book right now, another book, a
Mm,
publication with the We Matter work. I
no.
am working on new works because I have a new camera I'm about to start using. I have some incredible stuff coming up in the works with a few brands and corporations and just continuing the whole manifest and train.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I did my round of applause. That's for the new camera, man. I know how special it is for the new camera. I thought you were gonna say you gonna come out with a wine. I think that'd be dope.
Coming out with a wine. Oh, I'm not even there yet. I gotta, I gotta meet some folks and go to some, go to
Uh,
some
some
spot,
tastings
yeah,
and
some
things like
tastings
that.
and meet some people. I wish I would have really took advantage of that when I was in California.
Yeah,
Like,
I was just thinking that.
I'm
What?
like, why did I? Because I was into it, but I wasn't into it so heavy. Now it's like
Right.
I'm really into natural wines and stuff like that. So like the
Like,
different,
can you hit me real quick to natural wine?
yeah. I mean,
Or just give me a name. I don't know if brand. We might get a sponsorship off this or something. But or what is a brand
oh,
or maybe not a brand, but just like I'll say a flavor. I don't even know.
I
I don't even
love
drink
an
wine.
orange. I love an orange wine. A nice orange wine. I love a sparkling patinette. Um, my favorite wine right now is it's a red wine. It's called Glue Glue. That's really
GLU,
really good. I think it's
GLU.
GLEU, I believe.
Oh, like ooh, okay.
I'm a like GLEU. I mean, I think let me just type it in while I'm like on here. I'm still looking at the screen, but typing. I hope this don't
Uh,
look weird.
no. So what? Why are you saying?
Oh, GLOU. That's
Oh,
what it's by Los Jarras wines. It's really, really good. They make some incredible wines.
cool. I had to just because I used to not drink wine. It made me sleepy, but I don't drink a lot. I stopped smoking last year, so I've been starting to drink a
mean,
weed.
okay.
Yeah, I never smoked cigarettes. Actually, I never. I've been. That's actually how my mom. She smoked cigarettes and she had emphysema, and that's how my mom passed. So never cigarettes, but I smoked. I smoked consistently for about 15 years and just stopped cold turkey.
I was a late smoker.
Were you?
I was so late. I didn't learn it until I moved to
Learn it.
Colorado.
Until when?
I was moved to Colorado and just kind of like
Oh yeah, you in Colorado too.
ain't nothing else going on. I guess
Okay.
this white town. But hiking.
And you jump right into like the best weed though. Like you probably never smoked like the brand. Like when I started smoking, it wasn't no loud. It was just Reggie and uh,
Uh, yeah, now it's like kind of like being snobby with that.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Uh, but yeah, well, I just manifested that that a ow wine coming to the stores sometime soon.
We'll work on that.
For sure, for sure. But yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. I'm excited, inspired, and I'm excited for the STL homecoming exhibit. I can't wait. However that may look, however I can help promote. You know, I do some stuff for Real STL News, whatever I can do to help just push that and champion that. I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about just our journey and our journey. You know what I'm saying? Just continue to just grow and iron sharpens iron and all
Yep,
that, man.
yep, for
So,
sure. We
do
will.
you got one little gem that maybe I know you say you do your manifestations every morning, right? What is something that you would just like if you could tell somebody might be going through something, need like a quick little boom, boom, boom. That would
What if I just read the oath?
oh please do. That'd be perfect.
All right, I'm gonna read the oath,
It's actually
and
this
then,
might be the clip I'll probably use right here. This right here. This is it.
and then we can go from there. So
Okay.
I'm gonna put my phone right here. I should know about heart by now. All right. So actually, we're gonna say it together. How about that?
Bet.
All right. So when I say, a stanza, you say it right after me. Okay.
Yep. I got you.
All right. I accept and receive unexpected good,
I accept and receive unexpected good,
unexpected money,
unexpected money,
unexpected love,
unexpected love,
unexpected kindness,
unexpected kindness,
unexpected generosity,
unexpected generosity,
unexpected offers,
unexpected offers,
unexpected prosperity,
unexpected prosperity,
coming in unexpected ways,
coming in unexpected ways,
from unexpected places
from unexpected places
in my life, in the life of others.
in my life and the life of others.
I am constantly guided
I am constantly guided
and boldly empowered
and boldly empowered
to receive the lavish abundance of the universe.
to receive the lavish abundance of the universe.
I accept the principle
I accept the principle
that abundance and prosperity
that abundance and prosperity
have already been given to me.
have already been given to me.
My acceptance makes it real
My acceptance makes it real
and opens the space
and opens the space
for manifestation to rush in.
for manifestations to rush in.
I open wide
I open wide
the doors of my consciousness
the doors of my consciousness
to receive and to give.
to receive and to give.
It is done now.
It is done now.
Through this oath of
Through this
manifestation,
oath, I manifest. I'm sorry, say that one more time.
through this oath of manifestation,
Through this oath of manifestation,
all things are possible.
all things are possible.
I declare
I declare
absolutely
absolutely
that I live in a friendly universe
that I live in a friendly universe
that is always providing for me.
that is always providing for me.
I feel it powerfully happening now.
What'd you say?
I feel it powerfully happening now.
I feel it powerfully happening now.
I open to receive more abundance
I opens to receive more abundance
and to give more abundance
and to give more abundance
than I've ever experienced before.
than I ever experienced before.
I can afford anything
I can afford anything
I desire.
I desire.
In fact,
In fact,
I am so prosperous,
I am so prosperous,
I need never worry again.
I need never worry again.
I am grateful for all that I already have
I'm grateful for all that I already have
and grateful for all that I am ready to give.
and grateful for all that I am ready to give.
I keep myself lifted in high consciousness,
I keep myself lifted in high consciousness,
no matter what the appearances are.
no matter what the appearances are.
God is all there is.
God is all there is.
I let the God times roll,
I let the God times roll,
and so it is.
and so it is. I let the God times roll. Wow. Halfway through, I felt like I was not doing no interview at all. I felt like I started to, honestly, I kept having to repeat it because I was literally like, kind of like spaced, feeling it. Like I started expecting it. Like the more I said unexpected, I started to expect it, if that makes sense. Even before we got to the expected part.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Hey, I'm gonna just screenshot that from your story because I'm gonna have to jot.
I just sent it to you.
You
good.
We have
just save
it. Save it. Save it. I'm gonna meditate on that, dog. Real talk. I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you too, bro.
For sure, man. The James Baldwin of photography, Mr. Adrian Octavius Walker. This is Big Dad Energy. I forgot, because this is only my second Big Dad Energy episode. Last but not least, how do you exude Big Dad energy?
How do I exude Big Dad energy?
Yeah.
Oh man, I exude. I think it's being present. It's being present. You know, being present, consistent, and being aware.
Being present. That's it. That might be the most powerful attribute we can have in these days. Being present. All right, my brother Adrian Octavius Walker, being present. That's how he exudes Big Dad energy, peace and love and manifestations. All right, peace.